My name is Commissioner Frank Avila, and I'm a commissioner at the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago. And today our show is called Kids for Saving Earth. And I have with me Tessa Hill. She's the chairman and president of Kids for Saving Earth. Tessa Hill serves as board chair. She was motivated by the loss of her 11-year-old son and her husband to cancer. She founded and served as president of Kids for Saving Earth, a founding board member of Healthy Child, Healthy World. She has worked to protect the earth and its children. Tessa is also a board member of Beyond Pesticide, a community partner with the Agency for Toxin Substance and Disease Registry, and serve on Federal Advisory Board for the EPA Children Health Office. Tessa organization, Kids for Saving Earth Worldwide, works with a network of over 8,500 schools and environmentally concerned kids and adults to educate, inspire, and empower children to protect the earth environment. And thank you for being on our show, Tessa.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
And also, I have also our second guest, Robina Suwol, is the board president, just elected, of Beyond Pesticides and executive director of California Safe School, a nationally celebrated children environmental health coalition founded in 1988. Since founding California Safe School, Suwol has achieved national prominence as an environmental and children health activist, an articulate and compelling speaker. Suwol gives frequent presentations on school safety to parents, students, school officials, and legislators. California Safe School is recognized for spearheading the most stringent pesticides policy in the nation at Los Angeles Unified School District. It's the second largest in the nation. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here celebrating children, for the earth with Tessa here. Thank you.
Yes, and I'm glad both of you are here because you're here for this conference on Beyond Pesticides, and I'm glad you're here in Chicago.
Thank you. It's beautiful.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Tessa, why was Kids for Saving Earth formed?
Well, it was actually my son Clinton's idea. He was 10 years old, and he was diagnosed with a malignant brain tumor, and he felt as though the problems with the earth and the environment might have had something to do with it, and I did too. But he was also deeply concerned about the animals of the earth disappearing, the land for them disappearing, and just was always interested in it from the time he was little. So he decided that kids could be the one that would make a big difference, that they could get to their parents like they did with smoking and things like that, and influence them to make changes, because it always takes the big people to kind of do some of the stuff. But they worked hard, and he believed that, and sure enough, here I am working away for a lot of years now. And he unfortunately died 11 months after he was diagnosed. But I'm carrying on his dream, and thousands of people are carrying on his dream.
You know, it's amazing to me that, as you mentioned, that it was the kids was a motivator for smoking, telling their parents, look, it's bad for your health.
Yes, absolutely.
And maybe the parents says, my kids may be right because I want to stay with them, I want to enjoy them, and maybe I should stop smoking. And maybe that's where he was seeing what was happening around the earth.
Yes, exactly.
The environment, animals, everything maybe not living long like they used to live.
Right, and kids get their parents recycling, and so we're trying to get them really educated, mainly through instructors, be it school instructors, church instructors, daycare centers, after-school programs, that sort of thing. And it's working. It's really working. It's making a big difference.
And how long has Kids for Safe Earth been in existence?
It was started in 1990. He died in 1989, and we started shortly thereafter. And it expanded very rapidly. It was an idea whose time had come. People were ready and teachers were ready, and at that time there wasn't much environmental education materials in the schools, and so we provided that mostly free to thousands, literally thousands of schools across the country. So that's exactly what we're doing now.
And so now this is your mission.
This is my mission, to educate and empower children to protect the earth.
And do you have a group that writes your material to educate the teachers, educate the parents? You know, it takes a lot of work.
Well, I was a teacher.
Oh, were you a teacher?
I was a teacher, and I know how little time a teacher has. So I design and write the materials myself. I use children's artwork, and luckily I know how to do some computer things so that I can do a lot of it. And with the children's artwork, which I just would love to have more, so if anyone's out there listening, please send us children's artwork on the environment.
On the environment?
Yeah.
And then her website is on the screen right now,
yeah.
So you could write her website down and send anything that dealing with the environment by children.
Yes. And we do, we link to other websites that children are involved with, or other schools, and we also will put up a link for a group, and we'll add it to ours as well, so teachers can see what other teachers are doing.
And how did you happen to meet Robina Suwol?
Well,
because she has a very large organization in California. I mean, what you did in California was amazing.
Oh, but I think it all began really in many ways with Tessa.
Tessa?
With her creation and creativity of her organization. And maybe if you could share this with with the audience, I think they would love seeing some of your incredible work.
Well, this is an example. One side is usually educational material and information. The other side, so that it can be used as a poster in a teacher's room or something. But this is one of these games where you're looking for the pollution. So, you know, we've got an old tire in here. This is underwater. What you see underwater, there's a lot of fish, and there's a big old pail here. And then here's some pollution coming out of the ship and from the truck back here. So we're constantly being surrounded by all kinds of pollution, and we want to get it out. We don't want it to be there. So that's what this particular piece is called, The Wonderful World of Water.
And this is all underwater, and this is probably what you would find throughout the United States or throughout the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All this pollution.
People have been careless about just dumping things in and out their windows, in cars and everywhere. It's just, it's time to stop that.
Yeah, and people don't realize, you know, they have to be educated or informed about, look, if you continue doing this, sir, you're going to destroy what's under the water.
Yeah.
And we have aquatic life, we have plants under the water, and we need water.
Yeah.
We need water to drink.
Our body's a huge percentage is water, so we need to have it. Yeah. It has to be pure. If it's not pure, it's going to hurt us. And a lot of the water is filled with chemicals and pesticides, hormone residue, and all kinds of terrible things. And so we really need to learn more about it and figure out how to protect ourselves against these kinds of chemicals. And that's what Robina is heavily involved in the schools.
Yes, I looked on the web on your site. What was it called? Healthy
California Safe Schools is the site.
And you have a chart on the fish that we should not eat.
Yes, there is.
And it was amazing. You know, because my wife and I, we love to eat fish. And you know, of all the water in the world, we have the oceans, the Atlantic, the Pacific Ocean. We have all the lakes that, of all that water, 1% is fresh water. And we live up here in God's country. We call this God's country up here in Chicago, the Great Lakes.
That's funny. We have the same thing in Minnesota.
and we have 18% of that 1% of fresh water is here in the Great Lakes.
Yes.
And so it just shows how precious where you live and how you treat your waterways affects the fresh water.
Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to make people understand, that they can't, the use of pesticides, for instance, is just not necessary most of the time in emergency situations. But it's very, very harmful. It doesn't only just kill the pests, it kills people, and it makes people very ill.
And is this how you got your group started?
It is. My group actually was started, and Tessa was so much help to me. In 1998, my sons were actually sprayed by a gardener in a hazardous materials suit as they entered school. And it was common practice to do that across the United States, not just in California. And we worked with Tessa's group, and we also worked with Beyond Pesticides, which is how I came to know them, a national organization that's located, whose home is in D.C. And they were very helpful in educating me. I was just a parent beginning to find information and work together. And then Tessa's group, because of the information that she had brought forward, was so helpful in organizing parents. And we worked in a year from the date. My youngest son had a very severe asthma attack and did not, suffer extensively from it, but it was really horrifying. And I thought that just can't happen again. And so we organized, and a year from the date he became ill. LA Unified, which is the second largest school district, created the most stringent pesticide policy in the nation.
It's called the Integrated Pest Management.
It was the first to embrace the precautionary principle in parents' right to know. And so we've been very fortunate to work with organizations like Tessa, like Beyond Pesticides, that are large coalitions, and so happy to be here in Chicago. We just came from an incredible tour from your city hall, where you have the beautiful rooftop gardens. I mean, it was phenomenal.
Quite incredible.
Yes.
And so happy to be here celebrating the 25th Pesticide Forum with Safer Pest Control, which is an organization right here. And so we continue to do our work. It's wonderful. I can't say enough about Tessa, truly, that her selflessness in working toward these issues, in spite of a very tragic experience. And so we don't want that to happen to anyone else. And we hope that everyone will be cautious and remember that threshold levels of chemicals are based upon a 160-pound healthy adult male. And so, when you're using these products, please always, consider that.
I see. So if it's based on an adult male, they say, well, it won't affect an adult male, but they don't consider a smaller child, less weight, that affects more, or
a fetus,
or even go to a smaller aquatic life.
Yes.
A fish that's very small.
Exactly.
And so the criteria, maybe we have the wrong criteria.
Right, and it's in our water, as you've talked about, in our food, in our air. And so the cumulative and synergistic effects of all of these chemicals on young bodies and adults as well are rather haunting when you begin to look at that.
And do you have any other material? We showed your
I do. I wanted to tell you about this one. You can maybe hold it. It's a booklet. I also chair another organization called Healthy Child, Healthy World, and that's
Healthy Child, Healthy World.
Right, and the website is healthychild.org. It's very simple. But you can go there and learn a lot about what's in your home and what might be dangerous. And I decided that I needed to write a book for children and parents together, because it's a scary topic. I mean, these illnesses are scary illnesses, but we can't put our head in the sand. We have to face up to the fact that there are issues. So this book is, the first 7 pages is for an adult to explain about toxins in the environment and in your home, and then the rest of the pages are for the adult and child to read together, and it's about what you can do in your home. I mean, you really don't want to be using toxic flea powder on your dog and hugging that dog, and you really don't want to have your lawn sprayed with pesticide and then walk in and walk all over the carpet and then have a child or a baby crawling on the carpet.
We have a bad habit, and I notice people in their homes, when they drop some food on the floor, sometimes they'll pick it up and put it in their mouth.
I know.
And yet you just mentioned that they put pesticides on the lawn. You step on it, you come into your home, and it's on the bottom of your feet or wherever you've been that day. You bring it into your home. And so therefore I tell all the kids when I give talks, I try and give talks 3 times a week, that whatever you drop on the floor, throw it in the garbage and wash your hands.
Absolutely, and Beyond Pesticides has on their website a place where you can find about safer products that will deal with pests. And healthychild.org has a lot on their website about toxic cleaning supplies and what toxic materials and a lot of other things that you can go on the Healthy House and you can click on any room and find out what might be toxic in there, and then you can go find out what kind of things to use instead, and there are alternatives.
You know, I like the name of your book. It says there, we're not asking for the moon, just a healthy home and earth.
That's right.
Because right now, a human being, we're not on the moon yet. And
take care of our own house, our own home.
See, but
we only have one planet.
And you know, they used to say that locally, we're California's by, you know, you're 2,000 feet from Chicago, 2,000 miles from Chicago, and Europe is across the ocean. But now today, everyone is local. We're all so close together.
And it's all the same air, and it's all the same ocean.
All because, you know, the other day or yesterday in the paper, there's one fella that had TB, got on the plane.
Yes.
And he came over here, we let him in, and now he's quarantined. Now they're trying to find every passenger on that plane. So it shows how small
it does show
the Earth is and how we should be concerned with the Earth.
It's a small, delicate planet, and we've abused it, and we need to do something to counteract that, and we need to do it very quickly.
Yes, and now besides this book, do you have any other books that you have?
This little one is for kids to take on a trip, but like if you're going out with your family on a camping trip.
Yes.
And it has lots of activities in it and information as you're touring through a little forest. But you could use it even in your little neighborhood forest, just a few trees. You can, a teacher could use it and take it out to a little wooded area, and kids could learn a lot. This is one of my favorite. It's
I like the name, Travel the Earth, a trip to a forest. From Kids for Saving Earth. And you know, and I also like what you said, Robina, is that you were just a parent, and Tessa, you were just a parent, and yet you didn't have a PhD. It was your first time at this environment, but you knew what to do or where to look for the information, and now you're providing this same information to other parents throughout the world, United States. And they could easily learn what you're doing because of the information that you're giving.
Yes, it's really important.
No, nothing to secret. You're not hiding anything. You want to give it to the world.
And the website makes it so much easier to give to the world now.
Yes.
This costs money to mail. This costs money to print, and there's energy used in the process, and there's energy used in transporting.
Yes.
So really, the website's the green way to go now. Every once in a while, though, you need neat things for your classroom. And this is one. It says, "It's a gift. I promise to keep it healthy and beautiful." So on one side, it's a poster, and then the other side, it has the Kids for Saving Earth Promise Song music that I think you will have heard on this program, and lots of different little activities that you can do as well.
Yeah, and you know, as you mentioned, Tessa, that the opening music that we played, the name of it is Kids for Saving Earth Promise, and it's an excellent movie. If I was a parent, I would go out and buy that CD and play it, because every time we have a show, I play that, and it warms your heart.
It does warm your heart.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Clint, my son, called himself a defender of the planet and nature lover.
Yes.
And so that's why we use the term defender of the planet in the Promise song and in the Promise certificate. This is the certificate you get when you're a member, and so you're signing to promise to protect the world, the Earth, and it's just a lovely piece. It's a really, and we do sell that in a poster side. We try to give as much away free as possible, but there are some things that the mailing and everything is just too expensive.
Could you read this, Tess? What you say? Kids for Saving the Earth.
Yep.
Kids for Saving Earth.
The earth is my home. I promise to keep it healthy and beautiful. I will love the land, the air, the water, and all living creatures. I will be a defender of my planet. United with friends, I will save the earth.
Kids. Yeah, and the kids will save the earth.
The kids.
And that's why we have to protect the kids.
Exactly. Our kids, our kids don't have a vote. They don't have lobbyists.
No.
They really depend on adults to protect them. And, thank goodness that there are some people that are devoted to those issues and are working on them.
And you know, the way you're protecting the kids is by showing and teaching, because they have to learn themselves. But what as a parent and what your group is doing is teaching the kids, and they'll learn, and they'll take it home with them. They'll take it to their friends, and maybe their friends will learn, and everyone will start saving the earth. And we may not have all this problem that we have now.
Oh, I'm confident that we can do something about this. And I mean, it's a scary thing for kids to think about global warming and those sorts of things, but they're highly motivated, and so often adults are sort of, nah, we can't do much about it anyway, kind of thing. But their kids make them do it.
Sure.
It's hard to say no to kids.
Yeah, I know.
We all know.
You know, every 4 years, every 4 years in the United States, we have an election for the president. And then whoever wins picks his cabinet, and we have cabinet of defense, cabinet of health, cabinet of commerce, cabinet of transportation. But maybe we should have a cabinet of kids for saving Earth.
I think that's an excellent idea.
Maybe our president, maybe your platform will have this cabinet that have kids for saving Earth. Tessa?
I think so. I think that would be an excellent idea.
Yes. Do you have any other material or?
Sure. This is one that it's involved with saving a rainforest area in Costa Rica.
Yes.
And it's a spot where you can trust that it's going to remain protected because it's a national park, and they keep adding land to it. And people don't realize that when you're protecting a rainforest these days, you really have to have police and fences and education programs going on. There's a lot involved, so it's not just paying for land, but so it's a donation that people can make to the Kids for Saving Earth Rainforest, and again, that is on the site as well. Tells you a little bit more about it. So,
and we need rainforests in our world.
Oh, absolutely.
And as I mentioned, even though we live here in the United States, is that we have to take care of other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm glad that what you're doing to save other parts of the earth.
It's our only home.
Yes.
So we have to take care of it. There are rainforests in the United States too, and they need protecting desperately too. And there are so many things kids can do on their own, and one of them, of course, is planting trees. I mean, that can help a lot. And the other thing is to carpool. Water protection, not using so much water. Think about those kinds of things that you can do in your home. Again, stay away from toxics. Don't worry about not having a perfect lawn that has, a few dandelions in it. Make a little dandelion crown with it and enjoy it. And stop using those pesticides. Yeah,
you do have an excellent website with a lot of good material.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Healthy Child, Healthy World. I looked at it, and I downloaded an awful lot of good information from there that I'm going to start using.
The Healthy Child one.
Yeah.
Healthy Child. Ours is California Safe Schools.
Okay.
But we all work together.
And it's excellent.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to start using that in my speeches there.
Good. It's a good website, and there's a good blog there too. And people are welcome to get on that blog and point out a few things.
Now, you mentioned that your school district is the second largest
over
district.
1,000 school sites,
Over
28 cities, 704 square miles. It's enormous.
Oh.
And they're a school district that doesn't use a product called Roundup. They don't use that. They are able to take care of their lawns without the use of that product. They went from, at the time of the policy's creation, they went from 136 products down to 36 very low risk. They use very few pesticides, and it's successfully done.
Do you find that you have less illness with the kids now?
Well, we haven't actually tracked that in terms of an official manner, but we're told by the nursing staff that is true, that there is fewer absenteeism. I know that my son, who had severe asthma, has had an asthma attack at school since that incident. Now,
beyond pesticides, explain a little bit about that organization.
They're a phenomenal group, and Tessa, feel free to join in. They were started by Jay Feldman is the executive director and founder. They've been around for 25 years. They are an organization that is so selfless in helping organizations, grassroots groups throughout the country and internationally. They're an organization that I consider to be the national leader in pesticide movement. They're located in D.C., as I said before, and their website at beyondpesticides.org is phenomenal. There's a lot of assistance on alternatives to pesticide, as Tessa said earlier, and just a lot of general information that consider.
A couple of major projects going on one right now, and one is on safer lawns. So if you want to learn how to have safer lawns, go on to beyondpesticides.org. And they have one working with hospitals. You want to tell
Yes, they're working with hospitals. Many people don't understand that even in the hospitals, in an area where you're the most vulnerable,
Yes.
that they may be using cleaning products or pesticide products that might have an impact on the health of those folks that are patients. And so they're working with organizations to reduce any of those chemicals that, and to use lower risk products.
And what you're doing is that you're helping. If a person gets sick, he has to take pharmaceutical drugs, and some are bad and some are good, and also some is bad, some are good, and some are bad for the environment also.
Well, that's true.
Because when you intake a pharmaceutical drug and you eliminate it, it may go through out into the environment,
into the water,
and into the water. So what you're doing is having an indirect effect for a lot of things.
I think we're making people stop and think. Some of the hospital administrators realize the dangers, because, as we said, it's a very dangerous time for a person when you're in a hospital. You're much more susceptible to things, and if you have toxic poisons around you that they're using to spray for pests, it's not going to be good for you. It really lowers your immune system. And so it's extremely important to get the hospitals cleaned up and realizing that that's a big problem.
And what's going on at your forum?
Oh, our forum is very exciting. It really is. We have some of the most phenomenal researchers and scientists that are going to be presenting panels and workshops. One of them is Tyrone Hayes from the University of Berkeley, Warren Porter, who is a phenomenal researcher that's doing tremendous work on hormonal disruptions and the effects of chemicals. And it's an exciting event that's going on 3 days in Chicago. But the information about the folks and the speakers can be found on beyondpesticides.org after this event.
Yes.
And it's being held at Loyola.
And their report, or what they're going to report at the forum, will be on online?
It'll be available afterwards.
I will be